friends.
Hi, friends.
Nobody talks anyway. No, just Ian does. And Shannon.
Yeah.
So how everyone's doing today? Everyone's doing good?
Happy Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Tuesday on the podcast.
Tuesday.
Or whatever day it is for you. Might be Thursday if you're
If you're on YouTube, it's Tuesday. So,
if you watch it the day it comes out.
Yeah, whatever day it is.
Right. Happy day.
Happy day. Is that such a thing?
No.
Happy day. So, how was your week? Okay.
Nothing memorable, so. Kelsey's car died.
Oh.
And, well, not died.
Did you have to put it to sleep?
Yeah. No, she had to get it towed, and we were a one-car family, and that was kind of a struggle bus, but...
Yeah, it happens.
We're back to norm, so how was your week?
Besides my marathon on Saturday, I'd like to thank the Goofy Geek Boutique.
I was like, you don't fucking run.
Something's chasing me, I do. Something's chasing me, I do. No. Can't believe that. So, we had a live on the boutique, and it was a great live, but, so we were almost done at like 2 hours or something, and like new people came, and they were like, can you show us what you have left? So 3 hours later, we were literally like done. It's not hard. I mean, I'm talking, but sometimes it's just like by the third hour,
it's
you're like,
talking for
you're
3 hours.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm all on the screen by myself.
Yeah.
By myself.
Any special guests this time?
No, just me. And
That's
it was
lame.
one of the, well, we can't do it all the time, you know.
No party theme?
No. Can't do it all the time.
Whatever. New Year, same me.
Just for everyone to know, if everyone cares or anything, our next live, we're going to be doing, which, I don't know if do you remember the Easter one that we did?
Yeah.
We're doing it, and I get to say, peep show!
It's so early, though.
Yeah, because that's what you do. You sell bows early, so they can wear it.
No, that makes sense. I thought... No, never mind.
Well, because our next one will be in February.
Yeah.
Because it's already almost the end of January. Yeah. So,
anyways.
Yeah, so I get to do... we lost everybody when I did the peep show.
Yeah. I would too.
Oh, yeah. We got videos of people at, like, Walmart showing peeps, doing peep show. Like, and I was like... The whole time, Shannon's like, you don't stop, I'm going to kill you. Now she's like, you're going to say it the whole time. I'm like...
This is the peep show, Bo.
Yeah.
Number. Peep.
All right, so this is it. This is Spider-Man.
This is Spider-Man. This is what got me into Marvel.
We're talking about Tobey Maguire from episode, like, not episode
Universe 1.
All the way to No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't seen Spider-Man No WayOme,
don't watch
this. Don't watch this video.
Or you can, and you'll just be disappointed.
No, you can't be disappointed from that. Log off, which someone already logged off. They're like, no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So,
it was me.
I'm
already checked out.
So if you like a Spider-Man, we are talking about a little bit of comic stuff because literally this Spider-Man's comic has been rebooted so many times that I can't even think about how many times it's been rebooted.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's been rebooted 100 more times after me. Like, after I started reading it. Well, I didn't really read it, but, like during my period of time. So, let's start off. You started watching these movies because...
I started backwards.
You saw the movie of No Way Home.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to start there. Even though you started there. And it made you go back and start watching the Spider-Man...
Yeah.
I don't want to say trilogy because they're way more than trilogy.
Yeah.
Well, so you started off with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
So, what did you think?
I think he's really good as, like, the geeky character. I think we've talked about this, but he's very, like, quirky and stuff like that. I don't think he's necessarily, like, Spider-Man quality, which I think, I wouldn't say that, but, like, he's just not, like, someone you would see as Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I'm just the opposite.
Really?
Tobey Maguire is my... Well, I like Tom Holland, so I'm not going to talk trash, but I like Tobey Maguire. I think it's because that's the first Spider-Man I saw. Like,
Yeah.
well, in the movies.
Yeah.
And so, like everything else, it's the first time you watch it, it's like, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm going to just say, the first two movies are amazing. Toby nails all of it.
Yeah.
He's... I'm going to admit this. I had a crush on Kristen Bumpus. Yeah, what's it, Bumpus, right? No, the girl who plays Mary Jane in the movie. It's Kristen something, and I had a huge crush on her. And I was like, wow. So I watched it like 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked the chemistry between the two. I even liked Harry in this movie, which was played by... oh no, why can't I think of his name? I would say Seth Rogen. It's not Seth Rogen's his best friend, though.
Yeah.
Or they were best friends.
I don't know anyone's name. I'm lucky I finally got the characters, like, which Spider-Man is who.
Oh, right. Harry is Spider-Man's best... Not Spider-Man.
No, I know that, but I mean, like, I don't know actors.
Okay. And I loved all of them. I loved the whole first two. I love the fact that it was kind of like a such a different dynamic for me, having Norman killed pretty much by Spider-Man. Like, that stuff that we don't usually see, or we see and he comes back, or stuff like that. And that was the first time, I think, like in a Marvel movie, even though it's not made by Marvel, made by Sony, they basically said, like, he's done. Like, he won't come back. And it was like, what? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean he didn't come back? You know.
It's funny because I was watching with Kelsey.
Right.
And, as, like, the characters are forming or whatever, I'm like, I think that's Green Goblin. That's Green Goblin. And she's like, no, it's not. And then I'm like, And then I Googled it to make sure if I was right. And it was, obviously. And then for the third one, I'm like, ooh, I think that's Venom. Like the little, like, slime thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
She's like, no, he's not in this. I'm like,
oh my God.
She's like, no, he's the Black Spider-Man. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now.
I am going to say something. The third one was a bomb. But I loved it.
Yeah.
This is another Green Lantern for me, where everyone's like, "Oh, it wasn't that good." It was.
I really liked it.
I loved the third one,
yeah.
but it didn't do well. That's why there was no more.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like, there was too many villains. They didn't have their moments. They didn't have whatever.
I really liked.
I liked the third one. Mm-hmm. I thought the kid from the '70s show did an excellent job being Magnum.
So when I was watching this, right, I'm like,
why do you always have aha moments? Like, oh my God.
Because, like, I don't know. But I was watching it, I'm like, is that?
Yeah.
Is that? And then I heard his voice, I'm like, I think it is. So I had to Google it to make sure I was right. I'm like, oh my God, Gals, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's your big star.
It's fine.
False off.
So for me, I felt like the whole Tobey Maguire was a success.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. I could have gone a fourth movie. I understand it's all about money, but I love that whole thing. Like, Tobey really gave it. Of course, he looks like a young man, you know, like because he's young there. I don't know. I just love the MJ. She's going to do this. I love the fact that, you know, Harry lands up becoming the new Green Goblin. I love that theory of, like, you killed my father type of kid. You know, Spider-Man who was out for revenge. I don't know. I thought it was a nice little trilogy. Like, it went together.
Yeah.
So, now we go to...
I don't really like his.
Now we go to...
Andrew Garfield.
Look, I like Andrew Garfield. I do. I like him as an actor.
See, I see is like a Spider-Man, like I would picture Spider-Man to look like that.
I like Emma Stone.
I do love Emma Stone.
Me too. And I think the biggest thing that I had a hard time with this situation with them was the first movie was really good. Of course, now we're dealing with another... When they rebooted the whole story, which I've talked so many times about I hate the reboots of like starting from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it, Spider-Man gets bit by this spider, blah blah blah. Like move ahead, but for me, this was the reboot from another a Spider-Man. I don't even know what it was because I didn't read Spider-Man's because there was different. There's Amazing, Spectacular. There's Ultimate. There's tons of different Spider-Mans, and they're slightly different.
Yeah.
So watching this one, the first one, I thought was okay. Like I wasn't anti.
Yeah.
The second one, I did not like. I thought there was too many people. There was too many things going on. I hated the whole Rhino that was right at the end. I hated the Green Goblin. I thought the kid did it okay, but it wasn't like I wasn't buying
You
it.
weren't thrilled.
Like it's just kind of like okay, like. You're like, okay, you want to make him the monster. I'm okay with making a monster. I'm used to like a real monster, and they kind of didn't really do that for me. And of course,
they only did 2 because he fucked up somewhere, right? And
no, I thought he only did 2 because the second one didn't make money. Because they were supposed to do the Sinister Six. That's why at the end we see all the uniforms, and it never happened because it didn't. The second movie didn't pan out.
I thought it was because he didn't go to a meet and greet, and then they got mad. And
Maybe.
That's what I heard.
Well,
but you might be right too.
Whatever.
I don't know. It might be a combination.
Right. It's all Hollywood rumor. You never know. Like you don't know unless you're Garfield or Sony.
Right.
So that is. I don't like that. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm just kind of like, eh. Has its moments. It really shines.
I still cried when Gwen died. I knew it was gonna happen, but I was like, oh, no.
I love the fact that they showed the same scene because MJ falls from the in the first movie from the building off the balcony, and then you have her, Gwen. Which, believe it or not, I actually read this. That do you know why Gwen died? Because Stan Lee missed the meeting. And they chose to have him, and he didn't.
Oh my god!
He wasn't there for that, so he never.
Was he
got
not?
to go. No, I mean, because I don't know. Like, first of all, I don't know. I'm not.
You don't know him?
Like, no, I don't
you didn't know
he
him?
passed away.
I know that. But...
man, me and Stanley are like this. That's me and that's Stanley.
Yeah, right. You were the bottom.
So supposedly, that was a decision kind of gone, and he kind of probably like, hey, I missed the meeting, and it already got decided on. But I was reading something about, I don't know if it's true, I read it. But I was kind of like, okay, because she dies in the comic, whatever. And then I'm like, all right. So I really was, I didn't like any of it, the last one. Like, and I like Jamie Foxx, and I liked how he was a bumbling fool, but I feel like it was overdone. Like he was, like he had the comb over. He was like he was just oozing that I shouldn't be there. And sometimes when you ooze it out too much, I feel like it's not overacting, but it's overacting. Like I'm sure that's what they told him to do, but I feel like it's like, yeah, we get it. You're going to get powers and you're a loser. Like no one's that like that. Like so I wasn't a fan of Andrew. I didn't hate him. I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
And now we get to Tom Holland.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead, because
go ahead.
No, we're gonna talk about the last one last, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So I
have
a comment. I know, but I have a comment for
Easy.
I started with the bang.
So then we start off with Spider-Man meeting Iron Man, and brilliant that we didn't start over for the 100th time.
Mm-hmm. But I also felt like I was lost. Like I feel like I missed like a chunk, but I didn't know if it was like in a different movie or something like that. Because Kelsey and I both looked at each other and like they didn't say like how we got.
You don't need to. We got bit by a spider.
I knew that in the last.
It's typical. We don't need to show.
No, I understand that, but I was
how
like,
he wakes up one day and now he's fit and now he's
But because they didn't show it, I thought that Tony he just won a competition.
Don't forget,
something.
He's also in Civil War, Spider-Man. Like he's been
in
other shows before they did his solo.
No, I know that.
So,
but because I didn't watch those,
they don't. Yeah.
No, I understand, but what,
She's
what,
like,
what, let me fucking talk!
I hate this show.
No, when they like first like, I just thought like because he was part of like that Stark thing or whatever, I didn't know if he was just like chosen and was part of it, or if it was just like he was bitten by the spider or whatever. Like,
well, I got something to blow your mind for the last one. So
can't wait.
So the so obviously we I love the fact that every single Aunt May gets younger and prettier.
Yeah.
I was a big Sally Field fan, so I was like, yeah. So
let me get some of that.
May
I have you?
I was like, I want to be Forrest Gump. We landed up. So we kind of get to know him. We know we get to meet the Happy, the you know, like, you know, kid you need to upgrade.
I love Happy.
I know. And I told you about the Friends thing, so you're going to be watching that.
Yeah, I'm even more happy.
So for me, the first episode was it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
But it kind of had a little mixture of stuff was going on, and you know, I don't know. It really shows. I love the fact. I don't know if you know, but you know when they're in the limousine and the Tom goes to hug Iron Man.
Yeah.
That wasn't scripted. They were supposed to just shake hands, and
really?
just when he hugged, and so Robert Downey Jr. being a genius, he opens the door instead of hugging him and say, "All right." Like, oh, we're hugging. Oh, that's great. You're hugging.
Yeah. That's funny.
It is. It just shows you again the ability of Robert Downey Jr. of an actor. And then Tom to go with it, just kind of like, oh, okay,
yeah.
like,
yeah.
So I don't know. What did you like the first movie? I mean, did you like the whole first movie
of Tom Holland or?
Yes, Tom Holland. Yeah.
I think Tom Holland's my favorite one. I know it's like probably like because of whatever, but I think he was just the best at all of it.
Yeah.
Like he's geeky, but he's not like.
Well, he's
not too geeky, but he's not too like preppy. You know.
I love the fact that they have MJ taller than him. Yes. Because I feel like every woman I've ever met is taller. Like, I love the fact, and she's such a tomboy, tough one. Mm-hmm. And then I love the three. I just love the three. Yeah. Because at the end,
and even Ned. I love Ned so much. I am Ned. Yeah. Except for the genius part. Yeah. Can't work a computer to save my life.
We know. Neither can I. So, now we get to the second movie. Now the second movie is really dark because now we've lost Iron Man, and now he's trying to figure out his way, and he also now meets. Now we have Mysterio and Mysterio.
Which, by the way, when I saw Mysterio in Iron Man, I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, he's part of it, but I was like, ooh, I know that guy.
Me and this guy are like this.
Right. On the bottom.
Yeah, the top, don't lie. So, now we're sitting there, and I don't know. This movie, for me, was 100% like, shit hit the fan. Like, I don't know how to say it anyway. Like, all of it. It was like, from the minute it started, it was like, this don't sound good. I mean, I know Mysterio from the comics, so I kind of knew what his jam was. Mm-hmm. But it's a movie, and I don't think I don't sit there and say, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. So as I was sitting there watching this, I'm going, okay, keep your brain open but it's just like, this don't smell right. This doesn't feel right. Which is a good thing, because at the end, obviously, he basically screws over Peter. Yeah. It's just to get Tony Stark's technology. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, I feel like it puts Peter in this horrible.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, in order for the glasses, Six glasses. Yeah. He had to say like, right. Bring the power to this guy. Or whatever. Right. How come he didn't have to say that when he got him back?
Oh, because he was already. It's like being on a computer and you have your password. You put your password in, you go on. Now, when he goes on and he has to like, hey, he's going to be allowed to go on like as a guest, and okay, everything works for him. Kind of like that type of trick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being on a laptop and like me handing it to you. You just work on it and then you hand it back. You don't need to log in and log off because I already gave you permission to use it. Now, if I had logged off...
Oh, see, I thought it was just like...
He was giving like...
he has no power left. Like,
no, it was more of a... the glasses needed Peter Parker's approval so Mysterio could use it.
Gotcha.
Type of deal.
Okay.
All right, we good?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we leave off with basically Mysterio screwing over Peter.
Yeah.
Because I know you're dying to get to this last one, so I'm trying to get through these.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, it's all right. So now everyone knows.
I love how MJ is like the only one who figured out that he was Spider-Man.
Yes.
Out of everyone.
I know.
Like, he's always disappearing.
Yeah, no, I love how it was just like she's so like droll,
straight,
like just like. Listen, I'm not an idiot. I just figured it out. Like, she's so, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, she's not, like, girly, like, oh my god, you disappear. You know, it's more of a, I get it.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now Peter's identity is now open because at the end of the Spider-Man, which is the beginning of the next Spider-Man, basically says that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Which, in the comic, which is nowadays comic, he actually takes off his mask in Civil War to try to show everyone that, not in the movie, in the comic, that, you know, he doesn't want to hide anymore of who he is, which actually is the worst thing because Kingpin ends up going after him and ends up shooting Aunt May. Which he, to save her life, has to... go to
why does Aunt May have to die?
He's not no they bring her back, but when they bring her back he has to give up that he never married MJ.
He has to what?
Give up that he married MJ.
Say like what do you mean? Like he
So what happens
he announced that
no so like for instance you're married.
Yeah.
They, I'm trying to think of who it is. It's like the devil. I can't think of his name, but it's like the devil. And what he does is, you go to him and he says, "Okay, but you have to do something for me." He's like, "Okay," and he says, "You'll never be married to MJ. You can have Aunt May, but you'll never be married." And snaps the finger. Aunt May is alive, but they have no recollection they were ever married, or only Peter has feelings, not MJ.
Gotcha.
So it's like saving your mom or your dad. And then losing Kelsey. Mm-hmm. But she's alive. She doesn't know. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so that makes sense with the last one then.
But that's the comic though.
Yeah. No, I understand that. But
right. No, yeah. So
I love Doctor Strange, by the way.
Oh, I know, me too. I
don't think Kelsey really liked him.
Really? Mm-hmm. I love him. I like.
So I was like, well, now I want to watch Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's a good movie too. I can't wait for the second movie. It's very funny. I love the Chinese guy. I love it. Especially when he's listening to Beyonce. I'm like, what? So, speaking of that, okay, moving along. So, now he goes to Doctor Strange. He says...
Wait, can we back up?
Yep. Okay.
So, I love the part where he, like, obviously, like, just gets home or whatever, and he's, like, stripping out of his Spider-Man suit, and Aunt May and Happy walking on them, and he's like naked, and they're like, "All right, whatever."
Yeah, and they're breaking up.
Yeah, and he's trying to like focus on them,
right? Which is brilliant. Yeah. So now you have where are we at now? Spider-Man basically goes to Doctor Strange and says, I need this to be gone. Mm-hmm. Can you fix it? And they're like, yes. The best thing, I love the commercials said, don't do that spell. I won't do that spell. I won't do that spell. But in the movie, it wasn't that way.
I didn't watch the commercials.
It wasn't. I love how Marvel...
I didn't know anything about it. I just walked in blind. Literally. Like, just didn't know anything about Spider-Man. He shoots webs.
Spider-Man.
There's a part that I want to talk about later.
All right, so he goes in, and then of course, as he's going through the spell, he says, "Well, I don't want I want, doesn't matter."
Well, he's doing the spell because he wants his friends to get into school.
Right.
Because they keep getting denied.
Right, because of him being Spider-Man.
Yeah. And all the controversy.
Right. Remember, I've only seen this once,
mm-hmm.
and I kind of remember it, if you will. And you're the one with all the questions. So.
Well, because you have like the background too.
Yeah, I do. I'm the junkie. So he starts saying, "I don't want this person to forget. I don't want this person to forget," and he goes through like people you wouldn't want to forget, and then it messes up the thing and the spell, and it ends up causing different dimensions that know Peter Parker to come into it, which then it becomes a giant crossover of the first two movies. So then we see Dr. Octopus, Dr. Octavius, which again is a brilliant second. Like he's just, I love him as a bad guy. I didn't talk about. We went through Toby's kind of fast, but I love him. I love him through it, and I love the fact that they're taken out of history at a certain point. So, like, Dr. Octopus doesn't make it; he dies, and so he's like, "Oh, where's my machine?" And it's like, "Oh, so you're taken out of time here, not here."
Yeah.
And then everyone, and because of that, it starts putting 1 + 1 for everybody else, because everybody else is taken out of time in their own spot. And the even Electro, when he's taken out, I love the point was, "I thought you were geeky."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, but I have."
Is that the same actor?
Yeah, same actor.
It is?
Yeah, that's Jamie Foxx.
Oh.
And the best part is that he explains that the power's different here. And because the last thing he remembers is becoming part of the chip, so he basically got a new body, basically. Like, because he was just pure energy. Yeah. And now when he came back into this world, the energy's different. And I was like, oh, I was like, one of those moments you're like, you get it. Yeah. You get it. Yeah. Because at the same time, there were so many times that I'm like, oh, I hope they're going to explain this. I hope, how is this happening? I love the fact that Dr. Octopus's arms, the nanos from his from Spider-Man's suit went into it, and then he was able to control it. So it basically crippled him right away. Like he crippled him real easily, and not be a giant fight scene that it was on the bridge, but it didn't kill it. Like it didn't become this 5-hour fight. It was just enough that you go, I get it. Yeah. And for me, that's what I want. So it's like a moment. I want a moment on it. I don't need 6-hour fighting. I need that moment to say, do you remember who I am type of person. Yeah. And so he starts capturing each one. And then we get to the Green Goblin and his mental state, which I love the fact that everybody who was an actor in the show, every single one came back. That was in the storyline.
He looks like he hasn't changed a bit.
I know. I know.
What the hell?
I know. It kills me. These guys grow old. Like, I can literally look at a picture and be like, "Yee!" I remember, what happened to me now? These guys look exactly what they did 30 years ago. Right. We don't like them. Right. So what? Are we at the point where you had your question? Because I don't want to pass it.
It wasn't a question, it was a statement. But
what was your statement?
No, it's not here yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I'm not. I didn't pass it. So,
I do love the fact when Aunt May is giving him a cup of coffee or whatever, or she's asking if he wants, a glass of water. She goes, "Do you want salt or plain?" And he's like, "What?" She's like, "Because you're an octopus." Yeah, you're an octopus. That's me. I would be Aunt May.
Yeah, because even I was just like, yeah, he's only called that because he has 8 legs. 8, but it's not the fact that he actually has.
No, I would do it as a joke.
Yeah.
But it wasn't funny for them.
So, I'm trying to think here. So, and I love he brings it back to Happy's house. How bad is that? Mm-hmm. How bad is that? Because Happy, I love when they're walking through and he's like, the camera, and I'm like, Imagine, I could imagine be like,
Well, then Happy's like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I just looked at my ring camera.
Ring camera, and I see all these animals walking
Right.
in, like, monsters.
Right.
Probably says something.
Yeah.
And, so funny. I'm trying to think where I'm at now. So, he lands up.
So they're trying, yeah, so, yeah, what the fuck? I'm all of a sudden like, where part am I at?
I know. So what happens is,
He wants to fix them.
right. No,
He
what
doesn't wanna kill
no. Doctor Strange says you have to send them back because they're all supposed to die.
Yeah.
Okay, now here we go.
Yeah.
Here we're back on track. And there's a piece of him. Now, I don't know if everyone knows this. I'm sure everyone does. I don't know, but the people who don't know this, Spider-Man has this really strong good guy view. So, I remember in the comics, or when he would cross over, if something falls, he doesn't care about the bad guy. He cares about the thing falling on the people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else comes first, then the bad guy.
Yeah.
He has this moral compass, which is much greater than most superheroes. He used to be, I would say, the Superman of Marvel, where there was no kill, there was no, like, I'm sure now, but I'm talking about when I was a kid. Like, he used to have this whole, like, there's a line, and we don't cross it. We don't even get next to that line.
Yeah.
So, all the other ones are very dark, where his rage gets the best of him.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can go back to those and be like, Garfield loses his temper after he loses Gwen.
Yeah.
Toby lands up losing it all because he can't handle of all the decision, like his life is such a mess that he lands up. He's angry. He's
angry too because he could have stopped Uncle Ben from dying.
Right. Like there's a lot of things that that weighs on him.
Yeah.
That he can't.
And then he didn't tell anyone about it because he couldn't.
Right.
You know.
And so this is a situation that all of a sudden I felt like.
Who plays Sandman?
He was in Wings years ago. I can't think of the actor's name. I really liked him.
He looked really familiar.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of other things. Like he does other things. So he convinces everybody like he's going to save them.
Mm-hmm.
But Electro
he's not for it.
He's not for it, and he lands up getting the an arc reactor that Tony had that they were saving in another room, and he was, of course, not in unlimited power.
Right.
So he's like, "Yep, I got my power. I don't need to be saved." And the rest are all like, "Well, if he doesn't need to be saved, I don't need to be saved." And I feel like the crap starts like
they fix Octo at first.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the only one that is.
Which did you know? Like, I knew he was fixed, but did you still know it when he was at
the end?
At the end, did you like? Oh wait, he's fixed. Why is he? Because I thought he was going to double cross Spider-Man, if you will.
I was kind of in the middle.
Right, like you just kind of like yeah.
I'm like, I feel like he's gonna like fix. Like be on the good side, but at the same time, like I don't know, like there's a lot of plot twists in this one.
Right, yeah. And then we get the Andrew.
I like him in this movie. He is me, with all of his like, comments and stuff.
I love the fact that Ned.
I love he just wants to be brothers.
I love that Ned figures. Oh, we forgot. Doctor Strange gets put into the Mirrorverse, and he gets trapped there for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Which.
12 hours.
Is it 12 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And we're so bad at this because I've only seen this once, and you're like,
I only saw it twice.
I know you're like, we need to talk about it. I'm like, I only seen this once. So
well, it only takes you once to know everything.
I don't know. This one has so much in my brain.
Yeah.
Ned opens up a door saying, "I want to find people."
Well, because he has the ring.
Right, which is from Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And he was like, I love when he's like, I want to know where Peter is, and he's just kind of like, and then all of a sudden it starts.
I feel like when he's doing it, he has the ring on this hand, but
right, he's using this.
You
I
would
know.
think that
it's supposed to be the opposite. Yes. It's Ned, okay? That's Ned.
But like, how's it working then?
Shh, it's Ned, okay? Shh, music. It's movie magic.
Okay.
And I love the fact that when he comes, like, so we see somebody and they're far, and they show, of course, they scream Peter, and then Peter comes to walk in, and it's Andrew. And I love the fact where he's like, prove that you're Peter Parker, and he's like, well, I don't keep ID on me.
Right.
Like, and I'm like,
Kinda,
and I said, was like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's like, so he lightly jumps and gets stuck to the wall, and they're like,
Fall
yeah.
down.
No, he's like, I need more proof. No, this is plenty proof.
Right.
No, he's like, no, this is plenty proof. I love the fact that like I'm not a Andrew made it like it was like I'm not a sideshow, like puppy or a show, you know, like, and then all of a sudden the grandmother is like,
it's mom.
Yeah, his mom says, hey, can you just clean the way?
And
he's like, ah,
he's like, all right.
And he's like, okay, I think that's good. Hey, Ian. We're talking about Spider-Man.
Hope you watched it.
If you haven't watched it,
now you are.
log out. Get out of here. Because this is No Way Home.
He did. He left.
Right away. So then I love that scene. And so it's not the Peter Parker they want, obviously.
So they try again.
They try again, and then Tobey Maguire walks in. And Geekgasm. I don't even remember even hearing what he says, because I'm just like, it's him. And I love they give him the scruff, because that's how it's supposed to be. Just for you to know,
I really love him in this movie.
All the Spider-Mans are older. They didn't take them out from their time. They took them after all of them.
Yeah.
So the criminals came to us before...
Okay, you can stay then.
All right.
Just know that we're having spoilers.
He basically turns around and these criminals are coming to us before they die or before their big, like, demise. All the good guys are coming years after all the villains.
Yeah.
So they've grown, and they're not the same people anymore. For me, that changed a lot for me. It did. It changed a lot for me, because I was like, oh. And when they decide, and I love that, what's his name, puts on the lab coat, and they talk. I love they start talking about, like, oh, the web doesn't come out of your hand. And I'm like...
Where else does it come from? That's what that was a comment. I'm sorry. That was a comment I wanted to get to.
Oh, it's like...
Because they looked at each other like, okay. Do you want to know?
Yep. So Mary Jane stuck to the bed.
I like the part when, who was it, was like, oh, my friend got involved and then he died, or something like that, and Ned's like, I'm not going to screw up.
No. Is there a Ned in your universe? No, but I had a friend that died, and he's like... like, walk away slowly. Not the answer I wanted.
And then he calls Peter Parker. They all turn around. I don't consider it spoilers. Letting me know what the hell's going on with it.
You see it, yeah. I love that scene because it was so... I don't know. These guys really make each person really pop. Even the Spider-Man. Like, even the older Spider-Man. And they're like... I love the... I don't know about you, but I got teary-eyed because I cried.
I cried.
At when they were on the Statue of Liberty. And when they're on a statue that's getting redone, which I'm so glad they destroyed it. Did you notice the Statue of Liberty?
What part?
The Statue of Liberty.
What about it?
What was different about it?
It wasn't green.
Right, it's not. It was originally they had buffed
out
all the, so it was copper again. Like, well, it's still copper, but it was patined. That's what you call it when it's
it wasn't oxidized.
Yeah, oxidized. Yeah, thank you. So
I was very confused about the whole Captain America shield, but Ashley told me about it.
Yeah. So. That's in a couple of other episodes when they talk about the new Statue of Liberty, and they talk about it.
Oh, I didn't catch on.
Huh?
I didn't catch on.
No.
Oh.
In other shows.
Oh.
I was watching Hawkeye, and they talked about it. and I was like, wait a minute. What? And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, 1 + 1 = 2. Oh,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Yeah.
Then we. I don't know.
Well, it's funny that you talking about the Statue of Liberty. We went with our friend, and he was like, "So when the Electro was in there, like, how did it not like, or something with the electric? How did it not like sizzle or whatever?" And I'm like, "Because it's copper,
it conducts it.
Yeah.
Well, somewhat conducts it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, how did Spider-Man get shocked? That's what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so their attitude is they're going to fix these people and send them back fixed instead of broken.
Yeah.
So so at the end of the day, Spider-Man lands up. How can I explain this? Garfield and Tobey cross lines that they know they shouldn't have crossed. Mm-hmm. So they don't want Tom to cross it, to stay that pure Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's why they're helping him.
Yeah.
Because they pushed it too far, and they've messed up people's lives instead of. And it's like, oh, it really is. I was like, oh, they get it.
Yeah.
Like they get it. This is how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. Spider-Man doesn't do bad things. I mean, bad things happen, but he always seems to be. I like the fact that the moment when they're on the three of them, they're on and they're explaining it.
Yeah.
And he says, Uncle Ben, you know,
and then he's like, I lost my MJ, and then he saves MJ.
And then
I'm bawling my eyes out the first time. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on, and I think that's so.
We didn't watch any of the other movies. They're like, no, MJ.
I cried the second time too. Don't you worry.
So when I'm watching this, the fact that there is no Uncle Ben in Tom's universe, and then Aunt May dies, is basically their Uncle Ben dying, and it's them keeping him pure. Mm-hmm. That's the part.
Because they both said that, like, we let our anger get the best of us.
And the fact that Spider-Man, the original, if you go back, wasn't like that. He was a really goody-goody type of cocky, funny kid who just swung around, like, kind of immature kind of kid, you know. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, I just feel like with this movie, he's trying to, fix everybody. And then I love the Green Goblin's moment because he's just like, I don't care, like it's not happening. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, do you know that like they did that meme where in the 1960 something or 1970 cartoon, they have a picture of Spider-Man pointing to Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
And they had a moment, and the best part is, did you know Garfield totally made up that I love you guys, and that's why they didn't know what to say.
Really?
That you haven't noticed, like when they were like, yeah, okay, like because he just drew that out.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he said, "Oh, I'm lame because I fought," and I was like, "Dude, it was lame,
right?"
But, and he's like, "No, you're amazing," and I was like,
"The pep talks between all of them."
I know, I know. Trust me, Shannon kept looking at me like, "Really now?" I was like, "Oh." I was like, Melissa Tomei died. I love her too. No. I was like, no, happy save her.
Right.
You bastards will pay.
And he's like, I can still hear her. I'm like, well, first of all, it just fucking happened. Second of all, I can't do.
You know when the bomb comes and he smacks it, exactly what Toby does with when it happens to his. There are so many reenactments of other movies, but other Spider-Mans doing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because Tom goes to jump after MJ, and that's when the Goblin grabs him, and then the Garfield has to grab him. And I actually forgot about the whole. My heart. I actually forgot that he actually web swings her, and it's too far, and she lands up breaking her neck. Like, I actually forgot about that part. Like I thought he ran out of fluid because didn't remember. And then when I watched it again, I was like, oh, he ran out. Oh, he just he does it too late.
Just, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that sucks.
Well, Kelsey's like, how did she die? Like, she didn't even hit the ground. I'm like,
she does.
Yeah. I was like, she
snaps.
smacks her head. Like, did you watch her like bend in half?
She's not Gumby, damn it.
Just the force of like the.
She's like, Kelsey, what are you watching? No, you're bending people in half. So, so this movie is just like, so they're all coming out, they're all fighting, they all get their cures, and the best part of the movie for me is the very end. Do you remember what happens at the very, very end? They get all disappeared. They all say something to Tom.
Well, there's so many. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, because you guys explain what happens before I say what I.
And there's moments where everyone has their moments where I loved it. They won, but they didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win because now he tells Doctor Strange, just have everyone forget Peter Parker in general, not that I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah, and he didn't want that to happen.
And he's like, no, what are you going to... He's like, yes, I need that.
Yeah.
And, excuse me, he everyone forgets him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what everyone else's opinion on this, but when he walks where they forget about him, MJ says, please remind us, me and Ned, don't let us forget. When he walks into that store, into the
donut
diner, donut shop, he basically chooses not to, and I was like, that's someone who grew up. Mm-hmm. That's an adult right there. Mm-hmm. And I will say one thing right now, I'm very disappointed at the last part of the movie. Because when he gets his apartment, the Russian goes, rent? You have rent?
Yeah.
I love that guy with the geeky girl. Yeah. He's like, oh, well, my daughter likes you. With Toby. Remember with Toby. Yeah. And of course, then we have the very end, which we have Tom Harding, which is Eddie Brock from Another Dimension, who is Venom from the Venom movies, sitting there drunk off his butt, and he says, oh, well, and then he leaves, and he had just got there. Like, he was like, I just got here, and then he leaves, but he's drunk. But did you see the important part?
The credit part?
The ring that was left was a piece of Venom which started crawling.
Yes, I did see
that.
Yeah.
In the next movie...
We didn't watch the credits for the second one. The second time we watched it.
Right.
So
what's your questions? I feel like there was questions I had to answer. She's like, I don't remember.
No, I think we answered all the questions. But so because he didn't say who he was, does that open up like Gwen? Like, can Gwen come into this next movie?
Well...
Or is Gwen just kind of like a different universe? I
was brought up with MJ in high school, and Gwen and Felicia being in college.
Okay.
And then when he graduates college, he realizes that he really does love MJ, and they get back together, and there's a whole lot of she's dead, not dead, she's a water clone, she's not a water clone. It's like, you know, it's comic, you know.
Yeah.
But now I don't know, because I know somebody's out there going to say, well, not in this comic, and not in the Ultimate, or not in Spectacular, or whatever. Like, I know everyone's different. If I'm wrong, please make the comments underneath the, I'm sure, you know, under the podcast and on YouTube. You know, more than welcome to correct me. I'm not perfect. I will if you write it and I'm wrong, I will say that it's you. I'll read your name and say that you're right, because I'm not perfect, because I read all this stuff. I read comics when I was from 85 to 93. So it's been like 30 years of everything changing. Yeah. You know, yeah, oh God, this is such a, like, it was literally, this movie was like, we were born for this. Because doing the first one was like, oh, we're going to make Spider-Man. Second one, we're going to make another Spider-Man. It's been a long time since Toby. And now this one, and then it was like, let's work. I like to thank Disney and Sony to work together, because if you remember, Sony took back Spider-Man, so they couldn't use him in certain things. And I'm so glad that level heads got the best, and they're making plenty of money, and for both of them, for Disney and for Sony, you know. And I just can't tell you how this Marvel universe is so amazing. And I mean, we've talked about. We always seem to be talking about something for this, and I know you're going to start watching the Avengers and like more of you know, because you still have to watch.
I have to watch the whole backstory of everything.
You gotta watch. You've watched all the Iron Mans. You gotta watch Captain America. You gotta watch like Thor and
everyone else. Yeah.
No, that's not that many more, but because
it just seems like a lot because there's so many parts to each person.
Right.
And then you get to the Avengers and
right, and you just gotta make sure how you watch it. But basically, you know, I don't know, guys. This movie was so. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to watch this again because I really feel like I've missed so much. Like, it's so much getting thrown at you. There's so many Easter eggs that are, like, they're all wearing their different costumes. I love the fact that Tobey Maguire says, my back hurts. And if you remember, in the third movie, he falls down and he's like, oh, my back. And it's all these inside jokes. It's all these things that just keeps getting thrown at you and thrown. Like, I just felt like twice I kept saying, Shannon, I'm missing things. And she's like, how are you missing things? I'm like, I don't know. I'm missing things.
So the first time I watched it, I was like, it kind of just opened my eyes to Marvel.
Right.
Until, like, I saw the shock factors and all that. So the second time, after watching the rest of the Spider-Man movies, or Spider-Man movies.
Well, Spider-Man, because you watch both of them.
Yeah.
Watch all three of them, yeah.
It was, I didn't have as much of the shock factor, but I had all the Easter eggs. Right. Or not all of them.
Yeah,
a lot
but you
of
got
the
most
Easter
of them, and it was like, wait a minute, what?
Right.
Wait a minute, what?
Like, oh, that makes sense there.
Right.
Oh, I know that guy, or, you know.
Right. And again, anytime you think there's a loophole or something going on, I feel like the next breath was literally fixing the hole.
Yeah.
Because I was like, as soon as I saw Electro, I was like, why is he all not Bucktooth and Comb Over?
That's why I thought he was a different guy.
Right away,
I know you said that.
And then all of a sudden, the Lizard's like, I thought you were Bucktooth. And I was like, thank you. Like, thank you. I just thought that. Like, you know. Oh, God. And, you know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Another one.
You can ask as many as you want. Okay.
Was the Lizard guy not wanting to be fixed either? Because he was in the van.
Well, what happens is the Lizard in the original one loses his arm, which is Doc Connors.
Yeah.
And when he becomes a Lizard, he thinks he's like he's fine the way it is. Like he's fine for who he is. So he doesn't want it to be changed because he is fixed. He has 2 arms.
Yeah.
He feels amazing. And then actually, if you remember the movie, he becomes so obsessed, he wants everyone else to be lizards.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is the greatest thing. Yeah. Like, why aren't we all doing it?
Because he wanted to do that in the last one, too.
Right. Yeah. But then what happens is I don't think he wanted to be fixed because he doesn't want to go back to being a scrawny guy with 1 arm.
Yeah.
And it's that...
I think it's still pretty bold of them to leave them in the van.
Yeah,
like, why wouldn't you bring everyone together? But
I think it was one of those, well... If the place gets blown up, there has to be one person still kind of like, you know what I mean? Like that moment where I feel like there was a bigger picture for him. And if he was with the rest of the crew. The also thing is, it's a small apartment and the Lizard's a big thing. Like, I don't know how they would fit him in there.
Yeah.
Like, because if you remember, like, they were already uncomfortable as it is.
Yeah.
And,
I guess, but I mean, it's just...
Yeah, no, I know. If you remember,
because he's a bad guy, I don't think I would leave a bad guy by himself. You know?
But he's locked in the van. I mean, he could crack the window, so it didn't. You know, he's. Someone was like, "Are you okay?"
He's a bad guy. He's gonna be able to get out of there. You know what I mean?
No, I know. It's little things like that you know. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like the apartment was already like. You know, stacked to the thing. What's his name went through the wall in the apartment. Remember? Who went through the wall? Remember the machine went through the wall and he's like, "Oh, sorry." No, you don't remember.
I do, but I don't.
Don't remember who did it. Yeah. So it's basically one of those things where like I can't wait to watch it again. Like this is one of those movies that I think that like when we talk about like the heaven lining up, this is it. Like what's the odds of making a movie, making a trilogy, making money, like what would you say, almost 30 years ago or whatever, what have you, because it was in the 90s, then come back, make another 2 movies, almost 3 movies, but doesn't, like you don't make the 3rd movie or what have you.
Yeah. Wow.
Got someplace to go. And then turn around, and then there's basically 2 more movies for the next guy.
Yeah.
And then say, can we bring back all the actors from from the first trilogy, from the second one, from the third, can we do this? And they do. And it works. I even love the fact that the lizard, I don't know if you know, but that's the original actor. Like, he only's on for 2 seconds because they give him the thing, and he becomes normal, and then it goes right off of him.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all he got was that one moment. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the right guy. That's a guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And it's a moment where I just feel, again, and the best part is, there was no spoilers. Mm-hmm. I know right now we're talking about it, but we're way, like, everyone's talking about it now. Like even Garfield, I saw Garfield talking about how he lied to Emma, called him up and be like, are you in this movie? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, and Emma's like, come on, jerk, tell me. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, but I had this thing, I was like, Shannon, we have to go. He's like, why? And she's like, why? I'm like, if I see a spoiler on Facebook, I am going to blow my brains. Like, please, like... And she's like, okay, and then I get sick. And I'm like, oh, no, like, I can't go. And then all of a sudden I get better. I'm like, we're going. And she's like, all right. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden, I know in Rhode Island, it's a little different than every place else, but we had the whole, you got to wear a mask. And I'm like, I don't know if I can watch a whole movie with a mask. They won't kill me, but I have a beard. And sometimes it goes in my mouth when I'm wearing a mask. And just getting through a store is like a challenge for me. Now, I know people, I'm not saying I won't wear a mask. I'm just making the statement that it's like, I'm like, wow.
That's what? One more time for the people in the back.
Because, like, it's because I have this, like, they're not long, but they're short. So they just start going in my mouth, and then
yeah.
Just like that. So, I don't know why.
Wow.
It's a long night.
Anyway.
It's been a long night. I need to drink more. I can still feel my teeth.
Good.
No,
that's good.
No, I'm just kidding. So you basically watch this movie, which is what we just called the fireworks. Like everything goes. Then you go back and watch all the other movies because now you're determined. Mm-hmm. So how many aha moments did you have?
All of them.
Did you remember? Like, oh my gosh, this is this. Oh my God, this is this. Yeah. And then you went back to see a second time. Mm-hmm. See, I want to see a second time, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna.
So. Because I watched the fireworks,
right?
And then I saw the build up or whatever. I didn't appreciate the movies as much until I watched it again, and then I was like, okay,
right. I see
so because I started with fireworks, the other ones weren't that great, but then I watched it again, and I'm
no,
they were fucking great.
yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's because of the first Spider-Man, I was younger, too. So I was really, and my son got into it at the time because it was real little. Like, what was it, 2003 or something? Or I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. And it was just a moment. I love that they made him scruffy, too. They didn't make him look... And that's the other thing. I know I just said this, but I love the fact that they made them older. And I love the fact when he said, hey, when Doc Ock says, hey, Peter, you got older. How you been? Oh, I've been, what is it? I've been trying? It's the same comment he says to him in the second movie. I've been trying. I've been trying to do better. I've been trying to do better.
Yeah.
And there was a moment that it's like, and I did one of those moments where I go, I think he said that in the other movie. And then I'm like trying to watch the movie, fast forward, and be like, come on, get there. Oh, he does say that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about other people. Like, I can't remember that. Like, I'm not that smart. Like,
I have another question.
Yep.
That I don't know if you'll know the answer to.
I do like fat butts, and I can't lie.
Oh, cool. Okay, that was it.
Oh, God. I don't know why I wanted to say that. Go ahead.
Very random. But,
I love you guys. I hope you enjoy the jokes.
So, when he does the spell for everyone to forget Peter or whatever. You need tissues? You want to go get it? You got sleeves, right?
Tissue, I just met you.
Yep.
So the spell for everyone to forget Peter Parker.
So they fixed everyone. Do they go back fixed or do they go back how they were?
I assume they go back fixed because they get fixed before they go back.
Yeah.
So the only question is how to change their timeline. We don't know. Because if they go back and they're fixed, do they have the moments of their demise?
Right.
And if they don't have their moment of their demise, does each one of those Peters now different?
Right. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, well...
Well, can we go back and do like a fourth?
You never know where this goes. Like, you don't know where the multiverse goes.
Right.
And that's the trick of this. And
I love when they were like... when Tom was like, I was part of the Avengers, and like, oh, what's that?
I know, is that a band?
Oh my god, you in a band?
No, I love it. Like, I went to space. Hold on. You went to space? He's like, yeah, we fought a purple alien. He's like, I love the fact.
I fought an alien.
I know. He's like, yeah, I did an alien. I fought a gooey black alien. Yeah. And I think the part that I love was they made each Spider-Man really shine.
Yeah.
And be like, you're as cool as you, and you are as cool as me. And, you know, like, everyone had their moment of, like, wait a minute, you went to space? Oh, well, like, I love Toby's like, wait a minute, let's go back here. You just said you went to space? How cool is that? Well, I played a purple alien. Like, no name. Right. It was just, like, purple alien, which we all know was Thanos. Yeah. And then he talked about the black goo, which was Venom. And then he's like, oh, I'm lame. I want
to fight an alien.
He's like, I want to fight an alien.
Right.
I'm lame. I just fought a robotic rhino. And I love Toby's like, you're not lame.
Right.
You're amazing. Amazing Spider-Man. Which then I was like, was that the name of his or was that Toby's?
No, it's his.
Oh, was his amazing? I know they're different, aren't they?
No, I think the first one's just Spider-Man.
I know one's amazing and one was something
the second
else.
one, I think, is the Amazing Spider-Man.
All right, I know one because they gave like the different names to them because that's how it, you know.
Yeah.
I believe it's like Ultimate.
Yeah, Spider-Man is the first one.
Right. Oh, it's just Spider-Man. Yeah. Okay, I don't.
And then the second one's the Ultimate.
I don't. No, yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing, and then Spectacular. I think there's one. I mean, in comic book world, they keep changing it when they reboot it.
It's another name for great.
I know. It basically is. That's, I don't know, guys. You guys, if you guys have seen it, please tell us what you think about it because I don't know.
I got my
you all got any NFL spoilers? My gambling habit depends on it.
I don't watch football. Sorry.
Well, Mr. Clown, I'm gonna say Mr. Mac.
Somebody's gonna win.
My vote's on
it's not gonna be the
Green
Patriots.
Bay. My vote's on Green Bay. And my vote's on, well, you're a Bengals fan, but they ain't winning. I'm going to say the Titans because their running back is back, the Henry guy. So, I don't see, I see the Titans winning. And look at this. I am a geek and I know sports. Look at this. I don't even know.
Nothing.
I know. There's not that many geeks that know sports. So I'm going with the Green Bay. I'm going with the Titans, and I don't know. I really don't know about the Bucks and the Rams because I don't like to call out Brady. I really don't because obviously I'm from New England, so I've seen him pull out stuff that I go, where the hell did that come from? But the Rams are really good this year. The Rams are really good, so that should be a really good nail biter down to watch. It's going to be like 50-0, and I'll be like, no,
that's
but
such a nail biter.
I know.
Will they make it?
I know. It's
they
funny
get
too.
A score.
It's so funny because we'll sit there and I'll literally be like in a comic book place and we'll be talking about comics and blah blah blah, and then someone will come over and be like, "Oh, I'm a Pistons fan or something." I'll go, "I'm a Timberwolves fan," and then I'm like throwing out all this. They're like, "Wait a minute. You like sports?" I'm like, I like basketball. I like hockey. I'm a Wild fan.
You just don't like baseball,
Twins.
right?
I'm a Twins fan. Yeah, I'm all about baseball.
Oh,
I can't play it for the love of me. I have bad eye
but you
coordination.
can play football and stuff like that.
Well, I can. Yeah, I used to play football in high school.
You don't run.
Yeah, I do. When someone's chasing me, when a 300-pound man's chasing me, you see how fast I run. I become speedy guys. Yonder.
Oh my god. All right.
Yeah. So no, but people would laugh at me because they're like, "How do you know that?" Because just for everyone to know, I used to be a closet geek. I didn't tell people I read comics. So at school,
And then he finally came out.
yeah, I did.
Isn't it nice to be out?
I know. I feel so free. Where's Brian tonight to make me feel?
Well, he'll be here next week.
Oh, Brian's coming next week. But I used to have this thing where I wouldn't want to tell everyone I'm a geek because it wasn't cool back then.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, I don't know. I still was kind of quiet about it. Then it just became like the page, and then it became like, oh well, can you talk about this? And then Shannon and I talk about hockey constantly. That's her sport. Like everything's hockey. Mm-hmm. She's a Bruins fan. Oh my gosh, she's crazy about Bruins. Like it's so funny.
If I'm gonna watch a sport, it'd probably be.
Oh, Ian, thanks for being so proud of me for coming out. I grew up in that late '80s, early '90s. So being a geek was not the coolest thing in the world. So a lot of me was being on that fence, like reading comics, and then playing football with the guys. And I like playing sports. I played basketball too. Yeah, I used to play before I'm 500 pounds. No. But I don't know. So the comic book world and the movie world, they're not exactly alike, because what happens is, if I remember back in my day, Spider-Man meets Madam Web, and that's how he goes to the Spider-Verse or the multiverse, and that's how he meets the other hymns. But it's always changing, so this could be all like 2020 reboots and stuff. And
well, it's the same thing as like probably any book to movie. Like not everything's going to be the same. Right. You have to change it up or add things or. He's
gonna call me Renaissance Man.
Nice.
No, but again, I like the fact that they made each one. The other thing is, I like the fact that we don't hear a lot about each Spider-Man. They didn't sit there and spend half an hour saying, "This is what happened to me." Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, okay, I'm going to drop a hint that we went too far, but we still don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
And then we have another moment where I love you, or you're cool, I'm not cool. Oh yeah, you're cool.
Yeah.
But we don't know their backstories, because we all know those two Spider-Mans are from the future of what we're seeing on the movies. So all the criminals get taken out of each movie. Mm-hmm. Those Spider-Mans were not. Those were 6 movies, 7 movies, if you did that.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it. And they're like, oh, well, I never came back, or I never really,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I love that stuff. So I'm telling everyone they need to watch this movie.
Yeah.
They need to go see this movie. I'm going to go.
Even if you don't like Marvel, or say you don't.
I can't believe it's you saying this, too.
I know. Go freaking watch it.
So, I don't know if anyone knows, because not all you guys watch this, but I tried to do a Star Wars one where I basically talked by myself, and she just kind of nodded her head through the whole thing. And she was just like, yeah, I'm never watching that. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. Everyone has their thing. And then I started talking about Mario, and she's like, yeah, I'm never watching that. I'm like, so pretty much if we don't talk about A or B. And now I feel like we're really getting into the geeky stuff now, because your life totally changed for the aha moments.
Yeah.
And I love those aha moments. I love when I get a comic book and I pick it up and it's at the right, oh, this is good. And it makes me want to read the ones before. It made me want to read the ones after. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I love the aha moments. But, so you'll go see another one of these.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, I can't wait till you get
to... You want to go together?
I can't wait. I can't wait till
I'll watch all of them by the next.
I can't wait till you get to the
Avengers.
Yeah, by the time you're at the end with the end game, you'll be like, I hate this show. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Right.
Oh, no, I was a mess with
the part where Happy and Peter are at the grave,
Oh,
at May's grave. Like, oh,
yeah.
how'd you know her? Oh, Spider-Man. How do you know
me
her?
too,
Spider-Man.
I know, and it was like yeah, it was just, they just knew how to wrap it all
Pull
up.
you on your
Yeah.
heartstrings.
Now, you know what the worst thing about this is? I see other people talk about this, and I'm like, I need to talk about this. Like, this is so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This is so perfect. You know, like, oh, what about this? And I've heard people trash this, too. I've heard,
Really?
not everyone.
What's the trash?
But they're like, oh, well, you know, they could have done this better. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is when the heavens lined up for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would you, like, think about this. How could you do this any other way? It just happens that you made 3 movies. They shut it down. They made 2 movies. They shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're making 2 movies and basically said, hey, let's go back almost 30 years ago and bring back everybody, and this would be really good.
Right.
Come on. There's no planning on that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't plan that. That's why I said, like, the heavens totally was like, oh, like all the lights came on.
Wow.
Yeah, you like that?
What a note.
That's what she said. So
Don't quit your day job.
yeah, no problem. I'm not singing anything. Thank you very much.
We thank you for not singing it.
You're a chorus, right?
For a year.
No, she signed.
No, I wasn't in the chorus for that. That was just my senior project. I didn't sing at all.
Yeah, I know you were signing.
Yeah, that was just my senior project. I wasn't part of.
Trust me, you were off key when you were signing. We're sorry.
I know. Wow.
I'm
an instrument player.
You are. So what at the end of this movie did you like for your first time? What did you get at the end of this movie? Like at the end of this movie, did you? Obviously, you had to watch the other movies. I know that, but like when you went to go watch the other movies, did you have a different outlook on these other movies?
Mm-hmm.
Like they were just totally different. That's the part I can't do. Like I can't go back to watch those movies because
Right,
they're all like in my brain that way.
Yeah. So I'm not a big action movie person. Like
Right.
it's just too much for me, and because I was not forced to watch this one because I didn't have to go, but because I went to go watch this one, it kind of like opened my mind to
Right.
like maybe they're not all bad, you know?
No, they're not. And
And
some
then-
of them, obviously, some of them are. You're gonna like more than others.
Yeah.
Like there might be like, oh, I have to admit, Thor 1 is okay, but when you get to Ragnarok with Thor, I'm like, oh my god, this is the funniest thing I've ever. Like this is so good. Like this is like it's a whole nother. You know, it's another director. It's another whatever, and so there's times that, you know, you're gonna watch things and be like, nah. And then sometimes you're gonna watch it and be like, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. But I watch them all.
Mm-hmm.
I watch them all. I even watch the ones on Disney Plus with, you know, Hawkeye. Even though I just saw that other one that was horrible. I didn't like it. It was like The Eternals. It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
It's like,
I'll take your word for it.
all right.
I gotta get through the movies before I watch anything.
Yeah, you don't. No, it's just like, listen, if you like that movie, good for you. But it was like, for me, it was too story. Like it was just story,
Yeah.
and it was just like, by the time I was at the end, I'm like, and then at the end, I'm like,
couldn't this be an email?
I want this. I want this for
What?
I wanted this for dummies, like the Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know. I didn't like. I mean, there was moments in there I could sit here and tell you I liked. Like, you know, I was like, oh, that's sweet. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that wasn't. But at the end, I'm like, wow, I could have watched this. Like basically, I felt like I could have watched that in a 15-minute movie, and it would.
That's what I said. Like, could it be an email?
Like, I literally got that done.
All right,
Ian, we're off and gone also. So I like to say thank you for watching. It will be posted on YouTube on
Tuesdays. Make
Tuesdays.
sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell.
Yes. And we'd like to thank the Goofy Geek Boutique for the cups and for the sponsor. And you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.